In this lesson, we are going to talk about something called subject-verb agreement. It is sometimes called concord, but both of these mean the same thing. This is a concept in English where the subject of a sentence needs to agree or harmonize with the verb of a sentence. As you should already know, the subject of a sentence is the thing or person, or things or persons doing the verb. So if I say, the dog eats, the dog is the subject, eats is the verb. Now the concept of subject-verb agreement will become immediately obvious once I change the dog to the dogs, meaning when I pluralize the subject. Because if we have a plural subject, can I do this? No, I cannot. Because now with a plural subject, I need to change the verb. I need to remove this S at the end. So this is the concept of subject-verb agreement. I will try to make a schematic here, just to illustrate what types of verbs will be affected by this. And I will do it by writing down some pronouns. And I will come back to why these pronouns are important later. So in English, we have these are the pronouns that we generally use in English, unless we are using like some sort of object form of he being him or she, her. These are the subject forms of pronouns in English. Now we can say that these at the top here, or I should use a different color just to avoid confusion. Pink maybe, okay. These are singular, meaning that all of them refer to one thing or one person. These at the bottom are plural, meaning they refer to several things or several persons. Now the exception here is you, which can be singular and plural, but for the sake of, or in the context of subject-verb agreement, you is always considered plural. Now, when the subject is he, she, it, we get stuff like eats. So we have this S ending in present tense. There are many other irregular verbs as well that get a change in form when the subject is singular, such as is maybe the most important one, the singular subject version of to be, has, which is the singular subject version of to have, and then the only verb in past tense that is affected by subject-verb agreement is was. In general, you can see that there is a tendency here where the last letter of the verb is an S if the subject is singular. In plural, we have eat, are, have, were. And these verbs, they mean the same. These are just different conjugations of the same verb. And in English, when the subject is one of these, or can be exchanged with one of these, we have to use the correct conjugation of the verb form. I will skip I for this lesson, just to keep it a little bit simpler. Or I guess I could just write it down for you. So here we have like the irritating part about I is that it takes singular and plural verb forms in a very seemingly random manner. Like it has the singular past tense, you can say I was, although you have the plural to have, I have. You also have a plural type of the regular verbs in present tense, to eat, to sing, I eat, I walk, and so forth. And then you have this completely just novel verb form of to be here, which is its own thing. No other subject than I will use am after. Okay, I think I'll just jump to some examples here, because that is typically the easiest way of learning stuff, is just to do them. Now, let's say we have the girl either have or has candy. Which is correct? Has is correct, because the girl is singular. Because, and this is like the easiest trick that I can teach you. We can prove that the subject is singular because the girl the girl can be exchanged with she. Okay? So since we know that the subject is she, we can go back to this thing and find she. And then we know that has is the correct version of the verb here. So has is correct. The dogs either play or plays in the park. Which is correct? The subject here is plural. And we can prove this by saying that the dogs can be exchanged with they, because it has this plural S at the end. That means that we have to use the plural version of the verb as well. So we get play. This can get more complicated when we compound subjects. The dog and the cat either play or plays in the park. Okay, find the subject first and just have me excused for being a horrible role model with the capital letters. So the subject here is this entire phrase. And what can we exchange this with? Is it he? Is it she? Is it it? No, none of those. It has to be they. And therefore, we know that we need to use play rather than place. So this is a plural subject. And that's generally the case when you compound people or things with the conjunction and. If you compound several singulars with and, then you get more than one. So let's just take that example again. Like and here, in a linguistic sense, really means plus, in addition to. And since we then need to add this to this, we get the sum of two. We have more than one. So that's one way of thinking of it. However, this can also get more frustrating than this. So if I say the dog or the cat. Here we are using the exclusionary conjunction or. Now when you use and, that combines them together every time. However, the word or means not both, but one. Okay? Not both, but one. So it's either the cat or the dog. Now this entire phrase is the subject, but we know that the enacting of the verb will happen by only one of them. And therefore, this subject remains singular, even though it mentions two things. The grammar or the semantics of the word or will instruct us to understand that it cannot be both. So it remains plays. That is the short version of this. I think I'll leave it at that and maybe come back to this later. Like I said, I consider this to be, well, choosing between grammatical rules is like choosing one of your children, of course. But I would maybe consider this to be the most important grammatical rule in English, just because it is so frequent in language. You have to think about this so often when you are speaking and writing. And just learning this one rule will eliminate so many grammatical errors in your speech and writing. Yeah, so hopefully this made sense. Bye bye.